Robert Collins is in the house. Key figure as a coach and as an administrator with NIU Athletics for better than 20 years. Spent 3 seasons on the bench with Husky men's basketball. And he recruited Hall of Famers. Well, he's from the great south side of Chicago. We know the kind of basketball they play on the south side of Chicago. There's Janelle Thomas and then Donald Whiteside. Donald Whiteside is here. Donald got here just a little bit late. We could not recognize him when the returning Hall of Famers came onto the stage. Donald, where are you? I can't see you because of Donald. Please stand up and wave, and welcome back. Welcome back to your alma mater. Those 2 individuals I meant, along with Robert Collins, would help lead NIU to the NCAA tournament back in 1991. He returned to the Huskies as an athletic administrator. That was in 1992 after a short stint as the assistant men's basketball coach. That was at DePaul University. He was instrumental in the hiring of football coach Joe Novak, and that also helped to oversee the expansion and the renovation of numerous NIU athletic facilities. He's been recognized as well as the Senior Associate Athletic Director of the Year. This was by the All-American Football Foundation back in 2006. You can be a coach, you can be an administrator. What I think Robert Collins excelled at was being a mentor. And that's to the hundreds of student athletes hundreds and hundreds of student athletes he encountered here at Northern Illinois. In fact, he's taken the time to put his thoughts down into a book. It's his first publication. It's called Memoirs of a Mentor. It's available. You can find it online now. And I'm happy to say he has been a true friend for better than 30 years. Even happier to say that tonight he is a member of the NIU Husky Athletic Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Collins.
Well, the one thing I know I can't do is cry. My daughters will cry with me, but my son will talk about me forever. But thank you, thank you, thank you. That's my theme for tonight. I just have to thank those who made it possible for me to be here. I'm truly humbled. The name of my book is actually How Do You Spell Win? And it's memoirs from a mentor. My daughters are here ready to sell you a book, so they got them. Many people are responsible for my presence here tonight, and I want to take this opportunity to let them know I appreciate it. First, to Northern Illinois University Athletics for a tremendous opportunity. My family and friends and NIU family know I put my heart and soul into what I did. I think tonight you're saying to me what my parents would have said when appropriate. You did a good job. I'm forever grateful to be acknowledged for my commitment to NIU athletics. Thanks to the NIU Hall of Fame committee, believe me, I know firsthand how difficult it can be to get it right. But tonight, as most Hall of Fame nights, you got it right. And I don't mean in my selection, but with the inclusion of our life-saving donors and some extremely deserving athletes and contributors. Your time, dedication, and commitment is much appreciated. As I read through each and every inductee bio, I was once again humbled and proud by the company that I'll forever be linked to in the prestigious NIU Hall of Fame. Congratulations to you all. Thanks to my children, my true blessings in my life, my heart, my soul, who slowed down their busy lives this weekend to join me in this special occasion. Dory, my district outreach initiative CEO and community leader, her fiance Kareem are here with me tonight. Paige Collins, my Hollywood actress, flew in from LA, and my son, master trainer and winning bodybuilder, they're here with me. Thank you for your unwavering support. Their wants and needs drove me. Without all of you, this would be an empty night. I tried to be the best I could be, exactly what I wish and hope for you. Thanks for your unconditional love and support. Thank you, donors. We didn't have what we needed in order to provide a world-class experience before this generous group came along. We called it smoke and mirrors. At that time, we only had vision and dreams. Our facilities were undesirable by many. We knew what we needed, but the financial resources just were not there and were not channeled our way. At one time, believe it or not, athletics was deemed the black hole. Why put money into all of that when we need more resources for class studies, books, research and learning, etc.? Hard to argue, hard to hear, and hard to swallow. There was even talk about dropping football, along with other sports in general. My stance was, and still is, you don't have a university without athletics. We were told, if you want it, fund it. It drove us to be better. It took time and energy, but we found our lifeline in these generous and compassionate families. Fittingly, you are honored tonight for making dreams come true. The Jordans, the Chesicks, the Barsima, the Rich family. I want to personally thank you for the good you've done for NIU athletics. You made dreams come true for many coaches as well as deserving student athletes. I was able to be a part of these facilities' evolution. It was amazing to watch and feel each day the transformation take place. You made dreams come true as well. Thanks from the bottom of my heart to your donors. I appreciate it. Thanks to the student athletes that I was blessed to serve over my time here. We were rough around the edges early on, but we worked hard to create a positive image. We were going to be community leaders and honorable student athletes. That's what we strive for. Winning would be secondary at that point. I had the greatest job in the world, serving the greatest group of young people that money could buy. Not really. Always dedicated to being student athletes, which was not easy due to their time demands. 12 to 15 hours in the classroom, hours of study time, and then 20 to 25 hours a week with practice, games, and travel. That's a lot. It's not easy. I admired their journey, which is why we tried to find every resource possible to make their experience world-class. Thanks for your tremendous Husky efforts. I'm proud to say we did it the hard way. Current student athletes, coaches, and administration, thank you. You've made us all proud by continuing the excellence in the classroom and on the surfaces in which you play. Like myself and many others, we watch from a distance with great pride. I was a basketball coach with big dreams I felt I could achieve. But I had some disappointment along the way. Back then, there was only a handful of minority head coaches. The door was not wide open. It was not wide open enough to get in. Timing's everything, but it wasn't my time. When my frustration grew, I remember the day very vividly as an assistant coach at DePaul. I literally got on my knees and asked God to move me. I couldn't serve in that capacity of an assistant coach any longer. I didn't have the support needed to be advanced, and I worked hard, too hard to be not appreciated. His will be done. A short time later, my prayers were answered. NIU Athletic Director Gerald Odell called and offered me the Associate Athletic Director's position. I turned it down. I turned it down. Wasn't appealing yet. I just couldn't see myself doing that. I decided to reach out to Dr. Jacqueline Simmons, who was the principal at Robeson High School. She was a mentor to me. She said to me, she was always profound in what she said. She said, "What do you want to do, Robert?" I said, "Well, I want to become a Division I basketball coach and win a national championship." She said, "Well, yeah, that's great." She said, "But what about after that?" And I had never thought about after that. So I made up something. I said, "Well, I guess I'll just get into athletic administration." She then stared at me. She looked at me. She crossed her arms. The conversation was over. My decision was made. The message was clear. My time had come. On my way home, Gerald Odell called for the third time. I had turned the job down twice. He offered to meet me for breakfast the next morning. He said, "Robert, think of it this way. You'll be coaching coaches and mentoring 400 plus athletes instead of just having 12 or 15 players each time." But one of the things I was challenged to do was start women's track. We had no track. We had a small budget. We had nothing. So I combed the countryside and I convinced a young lady named Chantel Twiggs to meet me in Iowa City. She was the assistant coach at Iowa State at the time. And when I told her we didn't have a track and this, that, and the other, I had to get almost on my knees. I said, "Please, come and help me build this program, and I'll help you move your career." She did, and I did. She's been a track coach at University of Nevada for almost 18 years. Whether she's still there or not, she was awesome. The search for the next coach was almost as hard, and I almost blew it. I knew who I wanted, but she had just taken the job at another MAC school as an assistant coach. So we went through the challenges. I had a search. I brought in candidates, and we interviewed them. And Jim Phillips came in my office and said, "Robert, you're not too excited about these candidates." I didn't say anything. He said, "Well, look, don't get tired. Go back, reach out." I said, "Well, I know who I want, Jim." He said, I said, "She's at Kent State. She just took the job at one of the MAC schools to be an assistant." Jim picked up the phone right then and there, and he called the athletic director. And after the conversation they had, he said, "Jim, we'd never stop anyone from being a head coach and from being an assistant coach to be a head coach." That young lady has come to be the greatest track coach, in my estimation, in NIU history, Connie T-Berry, who's here today. Coach of the Year a few times. She won some championships. I'm so proud of her. I really am. But it's actually a testimony to the quality of coaches hired in the last 25 years. Excellent people, teachers, and mentors. I do want to share some other challenges. He talked about traveling with football. Dr. John Latourette was an expert on wines and things that I wasn't really up on. I had one wine when I came up, and that was it. But he taught me about Merlots and all those things. But one day we were up in the box at a game on the road, and we were literally getting our brains kicked in. This was Joe's, I think, third year. The president comments, he said, "Well, Robert, I thought this was the guy who would turn it around." Well, the South Side almost came out in me, but I kept my cool. I said, "With all due respect, Mr. President, we hired a football coach, not a magician." I said, "Please share with your constituents, be patient. We are building something to last. Ask for their patience and trust." With that said, we had Coach Novak, we had his back, and he came through. True story. I got a call from Sports Illustrated and New York Times the same morning, so I knew we must have been on a ticker tape wire. And the question was, Mr. Collins, how does it feel to have the longest losing streak in America? Southside almost came out again. But anyway, I said, well, you can only imagine it's pretty painful. But let me just tell you, we're doing everything to make this program turn around. And we're doing the right things, and we've done the right things, and we're going to get there. Promise me this, when we turn it, I want to call back. Well, it took a couple of more seasons to turn it around, but after beating Alabama, that Saturday, Monday morning when I walked into my office, as I turned the key, the phone was ringing. And I picked it up, and it was the same guy that had called me a couple of years earlier. He said, congratulations, Mr. Collins. He said, did you get your copy? I said, copy of what? He said, of Sports Illustrated. He said, look on your chair. It was on my chair. I ripped it open. He said, go to the middle section. In the middle section, it had Northern Illinois beating Alabama. We had turned it. Thank you, Joe Novak. You turned it. And we did as a group. I had many great highlights along the way, and I've got tons of stories. That's why I had to write books, because it's just too many stories. Some of the highlights that stick out, someone will probably be surprised. And some of these guys are here tonight. The 1986 recruiting class that I recruited, their success, in 1990, they went to the tournament. A group recently inducted into the hall. I will always be so proud of those young men. They stuck with the program during a very tough time. Thanks, fellas. And I know you're here somewhere. But I have to say, even though I didn't get to finish my journey with them, I'll just say, Coach Mo, those are my guys. Thanks to those who came tonight to support me. I've got a few of my golf gang here. I've got some of the guys from the 90s team. I've got a young man that I even coached in high school, Leon Ellis, came to support me. Thank you so much for being here, for that support. Northern Illinois has been a life for me, and I'm glad that God gave me that assignment, and I think I did it well. Well, let's just continue to do it the hard way. Thank you so much. Go Huskies.